Hi everyone. Just got to finish washing my hands. Welcome to Grandma Gina's kitchen. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to be making enchiladas. So the other day we made our green sauce. When we made our salsa, we made some delicious green sauce. So today we're going to put that to good use and use it to make enchiladas. So I am going to go ahead and start chopping up. So here is what we are using today. We're going to use a chayote, which is a Mexican squash. I don't know, for those of you that haven't eaten it, it's somewhere between a mix of a cucumber and a pear, the flavor for me. It's crisp, but it's a little bit sweeter, more like a fruit, but it's actually a squash. There's many benefits to chayote. It's rich in nutrients. It has vitamin C, which helps build collagen. It has, I'm trying to remember everything, vitamin B9, which is really important when you're pregnant. So healthy pregnancies. It can help lower blood sugar. So there's a lot of benefits to chayote. I have my Saladmaster food processor. We're going to use our number 2 cone and just chop it up small. So this is a nice way to get vegetables in all of our meals. Lots of times when we make enchiladas, we're just using meat and oil and corn tortillas, right? So I want to be able to add some vegetables. So I used about half of the chayote, just because I'm making a smaller batch. When I post the recipe, it's going to be a bigger batch. So depending on how many people you're feeding. We're going to go ahead and do some zucchini. Any fruits and vegetables with the white flesh has pectin, which is good for our heart. Let's see, like apples, pears, zucchini. All right, we're going to do some onion. I have about 1/4 of an onion here. There we go. And we're going to do some garlic. I think I'm going to do the garlic actually on the shredder cone. Just to shred it up kind of small. Because I want to make sure that I can get it throughout my whole dish here today. Cool. A little squeaky in here. We're going to do some carrot. Carrot's known for beta carotene, good for our eye. Vitamin A, good for our skin. Any fruits and vegetables with the orange color helps fight breast cancer. So also a very good vegetable to have in our diet. All right, and this food processor chops it up really small so you can get it into anything, right? There we go. So there we go. There's just all of our ingredients here. Let me show you here. So you can see chayote, zucchini, onion, garlic, carrot. So it's just beautiful colors, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and season it up just a bit here. So I'm going to use some onion powder, a little bit of granulated onion powder, avoiding the salts, right? Some pepper. I'm probably doing about 1/4 teaspoon of each. Salt, 1/4 teaspoon. May not really need salt, but and then we're gonna do parsley because I love parsley. I'm gonna make you guys crazy with my parsley. And I need to grab my garlic powder. Let me grab that really quick. Abracadabra. Ta-da! We're back. All right, and then we're gonna do some garlic powder. All right, and then just gonna mix that up. And I just like to try to get everything ready, and then I could just go through and layer it. I do a casserole style enchiladas, so I could just go ahead and layer everything. So there we go. So that's seasoned. We have all of that done. The other day when we made our salsa, I made extra jalapenos. I just sliced those up so I have some nice juicy jalapenos. Lots of times I'll use green chilies because they're not quite as spicy, but I used them all on the salsa, so I only saved some jalapenos. So we're gonna use jalapeno. My husband's gonna be excited because the spicier the better for him. He loves that. All right, so we have that ready. I usually use ground turkey, but I didn't have any, so I just have some turkey patties that I had handy in the freezer, so that's what we're using today. Let me put these in the sink. And I'll rinse those in a minute. And in the meantime, we'll get building our enchiladas. So let me take this down because we're done using that. Oh no, we're not done using that. I forgot. I need to do cheese. We need our beautiful cheese, right? So let me go ahead and grab, I'm going to do it on the stringer cone. And the stringer cone just gives it a little bit bigger cut. But when we're doing cheese, and we need to make sure the cone is very, very dry. We don't want the cheese to stick. So I'm just going to make sure that this is dry really well. And then we're going to, but you see how easy it cleans? I mean, all I did was rinse it, and the onion and everything just came right off, and it looks beautiful. All right, so there we go. Put that on it. Let me grab our cheese. Nice yummy cheese. Let me see, did I get a bowl for my cheese? I did. Okay, so here's for my cheese. And I'm just going to go ahead and do this on the stringer cone. And this is going to be for the top of our enchiladas. Sometimes I'll mix it inside to the middle, but for the most part I usually just put it over the top. That way I can get away with like 8 ounces of cheese instead of using 16 ounces of cheese. Only just because it has a lot of fat and stuff in it, and a lot of calories for cheese. But cheese is delicious. We love it. It's the second most addictive food in the world. Did you know that? The number 1 most addictive food is chocolate, but cheese is number 2 because it releases dopamine into the system. So after you eat it, you go, oh, I feel so good, and I want to feel like that again. So anyway, so that's one of the things we learned through the Cancer Project, is that cheese is second most addictive food because it releases the dopamine. One of the things we've noticed is that, actually they did a study, and they took about 100 people, I think it was. I don't quote me exactly on the numbers, but I think it was 100 people, and they had them go vegan for 6 months. And then when they let them go back to eating whatever they want, they asked them, what was the number 1 thing you missed? And they all said, cheese. They didn't miss steak, they didn't miss chicken, they didn't miss meats, they all missed cheese. Kind of crazy, right? But that's because it makes you feel good. All right, so we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna start our recipe here. So first I'm just gonna use some of our vegetables, and I'm just gonna layer this in our pan. And I'm using my small skillet because it's just for my husband and I, so we're gonna be able to get enough out of this one pan than needing to do a whole huge pan. I'm gonna go ahead, I got my green sauce here. Let me move this over here so that you guys can see what I'm doing. I put my glass cutting board there. I'm gonna get my green sauce here, and then I have my vegetables here. There we go, that way you can kind of see everything that I'm like rotating to put into the pan. And then we have some organic corn tortillas that I got at Sprouts. It's an 8-pack, I think. So it's not a whole lot of them, but it's perfect for just a small dish like this. Okay, so we did our vegetables. I'm going to get our corn tortillas, and I'm going to start dipping them in our green sauce. Oh, I have a spoon right here. All right, so I'm just going to put this. It's been in the refrigerator, so it's kind of gelled up a little bit, but if you do this right after you make it, it's still runny. It's easier to dip. There you go. So let's get both sides of this with sauce on it. And then we're just going to take our tortilla and we'll stick it right into the pan. Alright, we're going to do another one. Put it in there. Put our green sauce on there. It looks good, right? Okay, and then we're going to flip it. Try not to use my fingers too much, but I did wash my hands, and I just don't like to touch it as much as, more than I need to, right? So there we go. And I was gonna ask people too if you guys have any suggestions of things you'd like to see me cook, or you have questions on certain things you're trying to cook, then let me know. Please post it so that I can grab the ingredients and throw those together for you. We're pretty versatile on anything ethnicity for food and that we can cook. So if you have a favorite, just let us know. If you're not sure how to cook it, or you want to know a healthier recipe to maybe get the oils out or whatever. There we go. Put it in there. Ooh, wow. Looks good. Can you see it? Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit more vegetables. Where's my spoon? All right. I'm gonna put some more vegetables in there. I probably won't even need all of these vegetables. So I'll throw that into a soup or something, or anything like that. I have my turkey patties here. So let me grab something to grab those with. Because I try not to touch the meat as much as possible. So we're just gonna kind of put those in there. My husband's the one that usually does the meat dishes. So bear with me on getting this in here. There we go. Oopsie, there we go. So, I mean, if it was, they weren't patties, I could have just kind of squished it around and made a nice flat surface. But I think it worked out pretty good. You guys could see. Ta-da! And then we're going to season the meat. So a little bit of pepper. You'll notice that I always use the same seasonings. I know there's lots of other seasonings out there that I could probably experiment with. And when I do recipes that call for different things like thyme and rosemary and stuff, I do use them. My husband's not really big on rosemary and cumin, so sometimes I just have to cut those out of the recipe because he will, if he tastes that in there, he pulls away right away. He's like, nope, not eating it. And then a dash of salt just so the meat has a little bit of tenderness and flavor. All right, there we go. Now we're going to go ahead and do our tortillas again. So we're going to get some more tortillas going. I do a layer of tortillas. And then when my son was living here, I always put olives on top because he loves olives. So I'm not going to do that today because he's not here. But it is really pretty to see the olives on top. So there we go. Oh, we're going to fill this pan to the top. Maybe I should have used a bigger pan. No, because we wouldn't be able to eat it. So, and right now, with everybody staying home, I don't have anyone really to give the leftovers to. So, there we go. And you know, we'll eat it a day or two in a row, but we're not going to eat it all week. So, I do things like that, but my husband does not do things like that. So I'll eat oatmeal all week long. Totally fine with it. Anyways, okay, I think one more tortilla on that layer. And then, yeah, we're gonna be tight because remember I was telling you this, the organic tortillas, it's an 8-pack. So, and we're so used to, you know, that when we buy the regular tortillas, there's like 36 in a pack or something like that, 24 pack. Anyways, but this one only has 8, so but it's good enough. It's perfect for this size recipe. So there's our last tortilla. There we go. I'm going to put a little sauce around the edges where there's no tortilla, just to kind of cover our meat up, and then also get the flavor all through the meat too. All right, there we go. And then we are going to take our cheese. So with salad master, because the pan seals itself, you want to make sure that you are cleaning the edge off before you get started. So here we go. We have everything on there. We're just going to go ahead and add our cheese, our yummy cheese. And I did the stringer cone, so it has a little bit bigger cut. I don't know if you guys can see how well you guys can see the size of that. It's a little bit bigger than as if I had shredded it. So it's going to melt down to be a lot more than what it looks like when I'm just putting this one layer on there. All right. Those little chunks in there. All right, so that looks pretty good. Let me see, where's my spoon here? Because there I go with my fingers. Trying not to stick my fingers in everything, but I guess it's just me and my husband eating it anyways. So, all right, so there we go. There's our cheese. Probably could just go ahead and put the rest of it on there. Otherwise, I'll just have this cheese sitting there. And all right. Oh my goodness sakes, look at all that cheese. So every ounce of cheese is about 100 calories, guys. So that's why I was like, if I could get away with 8 ounces of cheese, just do the top layer, then at least that's only, you know, that's a lot less calories than doubling that up. Okay, and then there was one other thing I was going to add. Oh yeah, the jalapenos that we cooked the other day. So I just sliced those up. This is going to be hot. I know my husband will love it. He's going to be so excited when I tell him I didn't have any green chili, so I had to use jalapenos. I only saved jalapenos when I made the salsa. Anyways, it'll be good. And I'm putting them on top. Normally I would, if they were the green chilies, I would mix them in with the when I cut up the vegetables. I would dice them up in there or chop them on the machine in there. But I don't want to be overheated, so I want putting them on top so that I can pick them off if I need to, because it never fails. Like jalapenos could be anywhere between a 4 and a 20. Every time I take a bite, I get the 20. All right. So let's see, and my husband laughs at me because he, you know, how do I always end up with the 20? You know, he goes, and then I'll take like a bite. I'm like, it's so hot, and then he goes, oh no, you didn't. You're just saying that, and then I tell him taste it, and I'll give him the other half of what I bit into that's so hot, and he's like, oh my gosh, how come you always get the hot ones? So I don't know what happens, but anyways, so what I'm doing right now is I got a wet paper towel and I'm wiping the bottom just because I did a lot of prepping right here in this area, so I made a mess. You know, there's zucchini and cheese and everything, and you don't want that stuck to the bottom of your pan when you're going to stick it to a flame or electric, even if it's electric, right? If you're going to be sticking it to heat and you have all this food on the bottom, it's going to get stuck to the bottom, right? So lots of times people ask me, how come your pans don't have all those stains on the bottom? Let me show you like my 1 quart. This is my 1.5 quart. I've had this for 11 years, right? So it's not all brown stained up, and that's because I always just make sure right before I throw it on the stove, I like to make sure that there's not a bunch of food stuck to the bottom. Now nobody's perfect. I don't remember to do it every time, so sometimes I'll get a spot and then I just wipe it off. Anyway, so that was our green sauce, our veggies, and we have our enchiladas. So we're going to have enchiladas that have onion, garlic, zucchini, chayote, and carrot. We got our 5. We got our 5 vegetables. Not to mention that the green sauce also has tomato, onion, garlic, green chilies, jalapenos. So that also has vegetables in it and fruit. So that gives us a good balance. And then we have our cheese and some meat in there. I'm just going to put this on medium. Once I hear my valve clicking, I'm going to turn it down to low. And that's all you need to know. Medium to low is all you need to know. Now I'm free from the kitchen. Right now that I'm waiting for it to click, I'm just going to clean up. Everything will be clean. When my husband gets home in an hour or 2, we will be ready to eat dinner. And I'm sure you can hear my dog barking, so maybe my husband's already home. All right, guys, thank you for joining me in Grandma Gina's kitchen. Make sure you share and like. And if you have any suggestions for things you'd like to see cooked, please put out those suggestions. I would love to make something that you're excited about, and I would love to see cooked in Salad Master. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you soon. Have a healthy day.